Hey guys, this is Josh from Curve and Green Company. We have the second UAG AMA special guest, Alec from Landscape. The rest of these guys are all UAG members. We're just gonna quickly go around the screen. Guys, just introduce yourself. Give us the state you're from. Brad.
Hi, this is Brad with Copper Creek Cuts, a lawn care company in Northeast Florida.
I'm Nicole from Bartlesville, Oklahoma, and I own the landscape.
I'm Jonathan from Hero Services. We're a landscape pressure washing company here in Georgia.
My name's Alec Naylor. We are located in Ogden, Utah, northern Utah, and I own Nailerscapes.
All right, well, welcome everybody, and thanks for being a part of this. We're going to keep this really light and easy. All the viewers that are on here, be respectful when you ask your questions, or you get mooted. Easy as that. Again, this is the Echo Means Business AMA, and we'll get going with our questions. So you guys can kind of just fire at this if you got an answer, and if there's specific questions for you guys, I'll call your name out. Obviously, we're all landscapers, lawn care professionals. I'll start with Jonathan. What made you get into this? I know that you're part-time and you're also a career firefighter. So why the intro into landscaping, lawn care?
So basically, I just wanted to be able to come home at night instead of, because I work 24/48s, and do something completely different of my career job as a fireman. And it's just a place to clear your head, and I actually enjoy it. So, yeah.
Alec, how about you?
Sorry, man. What was that? Sorry.
What got you into landscaping? You're out in Utah, the desert. So
Yeah.
What got you going?
I did it in high school. Working for the father-in-law. And then I was on track to actually go to school to either be a lawyer or a physical therapist. I found out that both of those require another 6 to 8 years of school, and I hated school, and so here I am. Decided to stick with landscaping and be self-employed.
Nicole?
Well, I went through a divorce a handful of years ago, and after doing nails for so long and owning a day spa, I kind of had to figure out what I was going to do once the divorce went through. And so it was between landscaping or painting. There was just a couple of different things that I could have done, and it just so happened that landscaping took off. So.
And Brad, before you start, anybody watching, Brad's new nickname is Hollywood. If you watched anything in the past, you'll understand why. But Brad, go ahead. Why did you get started in landscaping lawn care or lawn care?
So after my wife and I, well, I say she had, it's our kids, but she did most of the heavy lifting. After our second was born, I was actually stay-at-home dad for a while she paid all the bills. After a few years of that, the kids weren't, little babies anymore, so they didn't need as much time with me. So I tried to find something that I could do to help out. And lawn care had pretty much the only schedule where I could work as much or as little as I want. And, as long as the customer was okay with when you got the work done, you could really build your own schedule. So that's one of the main reasons why.
Do you guys tend to set business goals for yourself each year, each quarter, or do you kind of just fly by and see what happens that year? Alec, I'll start with you on this one.
Back in the day, I've been doing this for 10, 11 years now. So back in the day, it was just kind of fly by night. It was honestly just whatever we can do, whatever we can collect. I didn't even know what a business goal was, honestly. But then starting a couple years ago, we started setting, certain goals, and we started setting them really small, as far as like revenue goals, production goals for, time wise on getting things done. And now it's just kind of addicting. So now I kind of set goals and, far-fetched, crazy goals. And we push ourselves to get to that point. So our current goal right now is, my current goal is, 200,000 in revenue per field employee in landscaping. So, I mean, we're kind of reaching for the stars with that one, but yeah, definitely goal oriented compared to what we used to be.
All right, nice. No, John, with your part-time, question pertains to you too. Are there specific goals that you have, like numbers you got to hit, X amount of customers? I know that your schedule can probably fluctuate a little bit for what you do in the firehouse. So what do you do as far as goal setting, if any?
Just like Alec was saying, in the beginning, it was just fly by night. Like I didn't know my ideal customer. I didn't know, obtainable goals. It was just pretty much say yes to everybody that wanted me to do any landscape service. But as the years gone by, we've, narrowed down our customer base to like our specific customer, what fits in our business plan, and we go from there. So as far as goals, money wise, I know where I have to be. But long term, it's just, trying to grow the business, add another truck or have 2 more employees, just, obtainable goals. Nothing like what he's doing, 200,000, but, one day we'll get there.
Josh looks like he's either really contemplating what you said, Jonathan, or he froze up. You blew his mind so dramatically that he still can't recover. Nicole, he's probably going to ask you to go next. Do you mind answering that question?
I really don't. I mean, I set my goal from just, I guess, being better than I was yesterday. I don't, I have plenty of business. I think my goals would really be more, reducing the amount of work that I do. But other than that, I mean, I'm busy. So I just don't, I'm just thankful for the business that I actually do have.
I think some of mine are kind of like Jonathan's work. So I think I started in 2017. So I think this is the 5th year. But the first 3 years was really learning what I should and should not take. And no, it's probably not a good idea to drive 20 minutes away to mow 2 acres on a 36-inch zero turn. You're not going to make a whole lot of money like that. Hey, Josh, we're just finishing up.
I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened there. My screen just went blank. I don't know.
No, that's okay.
Go ahead if you want to finish your combo. Don't let me interrupt.
But it was pretty much the same thing. So now the main goals that I have are kind of like Jonathan. I figured out the customers in the neighborhoods that I want, and I'm trying to build up a certain number of those to get some really dense routes, so I can cut out customers who are okay but just not as either productive or farther away.
We done? I know I jumped in kind of weird. That was awkward. Just real quick in the chat, Scotty wants to know, what's your favorite piece of equipment and why? Nicole, I'll start with you. Favorite piece of equipment and why?
My favorite piece of equipment is my hedge trimmers. I mean, I couldn't do what I do without them. And, I kind of use them like a weed eater and go through things that I probably shouldn't, and I should have a chainsaw, but, I give them a real workout for that. So I just can't live without my hedge trimmers, and they're Echo.
Brad, we've seen you online with your commercials on your mower, so I think I know what yours are.
So the cheap answer is my mower, because I couldn't cut grass with it. If it's the toy the tool that I usually am the happiest using, it's the blower, because that means I'm done with the yard and I get to cross one more off for the day. But that little tiny 4-inch chainsaw from Steel, that GTA 26, that's probably the tool I have the most fun with, because it's just such a cute little thing. And the battery is terrible on it. But if I ever have a job where I'm like, hey, I only need 10 minutes of cutting and it's less than 4 inches, I'm going to whip this bad boy out. That's one of my favorite tools, I think.
You know, this is the Echo UAG panel, right? Not still. All right, John, I'm going to jump to you. Favorite, why?
I have to say Echo's gloves that they sent me. I will go through a pair of gloves, maybe like a pair a month, and if these lasted me the whole season, they're starting to rip now, but man, they're comfortable and they protect your hands. So
Now, are you doing lawn care or landscape and hardscaping when you use those gloves? Because I do hardscaping, and I, for the life of me, cannot keep gloves more than maybe a week.
So hardscapes, I do like, every now and then. If you're carrying retaining wall block, forget it. Nothing's gonna last.
Yeah.
Just maintenance, mostly maintenance.
Okay.
Oh, that's light in here.
There you go, Alec.
I'm gonna kind of go off the beaten path and be the weirdo here, but my cell phone, man. I don't do a lot in the field anymore. I mean, in the field, if I was gonna say anything, it'd be my excavator. But my cell phone, I can communicate with my team, I can communicate with my clients, I can set my schedule, through Jobber, all my emails, take my videos to post on social media. This main driver of my business is, having something like that in my pocket. Be able to use it.
Is that excavator your most? Does that give you the most profit? Is it the most profitable tool you have in your fleet?
No.
What's the most profitable you got?
I mean, obviously the trucks, but if I was going to be weird again, I'd just say the people. The guys I have.
I thought you were going to show me your hands.
Oh no, but my people, man. I got 4 really good people, and that's my profit, man. They keep me sitting in this office all day. So
no.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer to this. Just a quick show of hands. Do any of you guys have employees? 2. Okay. So Alec and Jonathan, do you have any tips for retaining employees? I know everyone's saying that, this is the hardest year for labor. I've been hearing that since I was a kid working in different shops. Every generation blames the generation under them for whatever's going on. So what's your secret for retaining a decent, trustworthy employee? Jonathan.
Just treat your people right. I try to teach them to do my job, so when I'm not there, everything goes smoothly. So basically, just set them up for success. Eventually, you're not going to make everybody happy, but that's just the way it is. But yeah, just treat them right. Take care of your people.
Alec, are you?
It's all about culture, man. The culture that you build within your business, as well as your perspective as an owner of the business. I used to be just the dick, and I wanted to, they had to do it a certain way. They had to do this. They had to be here at this time. If my guys didn't show up at 7 a.m., I'd leave at 7:05 and just be, say too bad. But then after I hurt my back a couple years ago, I just had a huge perspective shift on how I treat people. And as well as how I figure out their talents and use their strengths to benefit my profits. So, I'll hire somebody on to be a sprinkler installer, but come to find out, they're really good at talking to clients. They're really good with people. So the first decision I made was to make sure that kid that I hired, he's the one that's going to talk to my clients. And so it was a strength to him. He enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because I didn't have to be at the job site anymore to talk to my clients. And it just makes everybody happier, because you're actually, your people are being used for what they're good at. It just makes the whole thing run smoother, which in turn creates, good culture. Everybody's happy to be there, and everybody's happy that their strengths are being noticed. Yeah, they're able to do what they want to do.
Nicole, just because we're on the subject, I know, Pat, you mentioned you use subcontractors. Do you find it hard to get subcontractors? And you're in Oklahoma. Do you find it hard to get subcontractors in landscaping in that area?
I don't think it's any different than employees necessarily. I do have subcontractors that do the sprinkler systems. The reliable subs are sprinklers, tree work, lawn mowing. If we have to do, certain trenching or something like that, then those subs are reliable. When it comes to cleaning up behind me as I'm trimming through, I just find that the majority of the people that I get, they're gung-ho at the beginning, and then they just fizzle out. And so it's just unfortunate that, I pay really well and that people just can't hang on and, just kind of stick it through the season. And I'll go through, sometimes 5 to 10, and these people will come back and kind of rotate back through. And it's just the way it is, I guess, of the landscaping business in general, right? I mean, don't you guys all have that problem with? I know that there's the U.S. Lawns person in Tulsa actually is having some problems, keeping his employees, at least at this time. Normally I'm okay. I mean, I'll keep them through the summertime, but the past 2 years has just been awful, really, with subcontractors.
All right, next question, Brad, to you. This one came from the Echo Means Business Instagram. Actually, this goes for the entire panel. Is Bigfoot real? Debate it. Brad, we'll start with you.
I would I would say I don't think I've done the research necessary to argue one way or the other, but I don't know. Isn't the thing it's hard to prove something doesn't exist just because you can't see it? I don't know.
Jonathan, running around the firehouse, any sightings of Bigfoot, heart attacks from some of your patients? Or?
No, but I'll tell you right now, it's archery season up here in Georgia, and I still won't go in the woods unless I'm carrying a pistol, just in case Bigfoot is real. So.
No, Alex in Utah. I've seen the hills have eyes, and that's what it reminds me of. You get those red desert areas. I'm sure you've seen things up there.
No,
you've seen something up there. No,
the Mormons don't allow it. It's not allowed. It's not allowed here in Utah, man. And no natural disasters, no weird animals like that. But I mean, if you're gonna ask me if Bigfoot is real, I'd probably say I hope so. That'd be cool.
So cool. Nothing in the Midwest, right? Nothing in Oklahoma. No. So it's conclusive. This panel does not believe in Bigfoot.
You're twisting our words now. I don't know where this is going to get quoted. We're going to be libeled as Bigfoot non-supporters.
Brad will get you a quote on any insurance policy you need. Even Tino put it down there for you. So if anybody needs a quote, you can reach out to Brad. Brad's going to hit me right now. I can see he's going to send a mail punch.
You don't want to be uninsured if a Bigfoot does happen to cross your path and you don't have that insurance. You're going to be hurt.
There you go. He might show up in Oklahoma one day. You never know. All right, let's get back to some serious questions here. We all know there's bullshit artists when it comes to clientele and customers. You do a job, they come out, they praise you. You've done great. You've done awesome. And then they go radio silence when it comes time to pay. What's the biggest bullshit story you guys have gotten from a customer as to why they can't pay? And I'm going to start just because I got this question and it was so funny. I had an example today. We did a walkway with a regrading job. And we did it 3 weeks ago. The hydro seeder went out. Hydro seeder after we were done. We were waiting. It was a few $1,000 job. I resent the invoice today after it's gone through automated a few times, and I get we're going to pay it right now. by the way, should we be worried about the seed not coming up? Uh, got that reel in, got in conversation, but because of the seed wasn't watered for 3 weeks, the guy wanted 20% off the bill. So that's just a small one that was funny. So Brad, I'll go with you on the starter. What's the biggest crock of shit you've gotten from a customer about not paying?
I've actually been very fortunate. And again, a lot of this is just because of volume. You know, I've only been working 2-3 days a week, so I'm not churning through the same number of clients you guys are. But I have had very few people ever not pay. And the times that I have, it's just that it was when I first started and I was not securing a credit card on file. So I had somebody who I met him in person and gave him a quote for I think it was like a $40 mow that should have been a lot more. This was my first year. This is actually what made me start doing credit card on file. But I met him and they're like, yeah, that's fine. And I went and did it and then sent him an email and sent several emails and several invoices until I was like, I'm wasting more time on this $40 and the stamps and like, this is even worth it. Just, you know, learn from it and move on. But I've been very fortunate that no one's ever tried to, you know, do what you explained. But then again, you know, with mowing, it's a lot lower dollar ticket items. So I'm not doing real big installs or something where somebody would have a lot more incentive to try and get 20% off.
I'm going to jump to Alec, but anybody watching this, you guys can drop your answer to the question in the comments or, again, ask questions. Alec, you mentioned in the beginning that you were kind of just flying by the seat of your pants in the beginning. So I'm assuming that you've had some issues with your installs with getting someone to pay the bill.
Honestly, the biggest problem actually came last year. Before that, it never really was a problem because I was raised by my grandpa. He's an old school contractor. And so if you didn't pay, you showed up at their house with a sledgehammer and they generally run a check out to you pretty immediately. But the one time that I had never have been paid, it was actually last year. I did some work, time and material for a buddy of mine's parents. And at the end of it all, yeah, they shorted me about $2,400 on the entire job, which that led me to the policy: no more work for friends, friends or their family. So he's a pretty decent friend, pretty big on Instagram. It's his parents, and so getting kind of mixed up into it and doing the work for him and stuff like that was kind of a dream come true for this huge Instagram star. And then all of a sudden getting screwed over, by his own parents. It's kind of a rough one. But ever since then, I've implemented, progress payments. So by the time we get to the end of a job, all that's left that they owe me, on average, is about 10%. So if they decide to, fleece me, it's really not that bad.
All right, cool. Jonathan, Nicole, do you guys have a story? Or if not, we can move on to the next question. But if you have something, jump in.
So I do first installment payment to even be put on my schedule. And then we take the second payment first day of the job, like once materials are on site. I learned my lesson because I was shorted about $14,000 on a retaining wall job that we did. The wife didn't like the color after she picked it out. So yeah, so that's my learning lesson is installment payments. Just to secure funds and pay your employees and make sure you cover your overhead.
Cole, you think?
When I go in and do a bid, it's written out in my contract that they have to put half down for product and labor, and then it's an immediate payment within 1 to 3 days of completing a job. So more recently I had COVID, and so the sub that I had doing a few weed pulling and different things like that on my schedule, I'm dying, and the client's like, you overcharged me for this. And so then I was relying on his hours, and it kind of got me in a little bind. So I had to kind of eat about $300, but not 14,000 or anything like that. No, no, it's written up front and it's in a contract. And as far as that goes, if somebody doesn't pay me, then I would take them to small claims court if needed, and I have no problem doing that.
Like, this might not be fully appropriate, but I got one on IG. I got to ask, and this is for Jonathan. So Jonathan, you're a firefighter and a landscaper. You were probably every housewife's dream. Have you ever had a Miss Robinson approach you?
Funny story. So I had a elderly lady, right? I was at the fire station, and she kept staring at me. And she was saying that she really liked my belt, and she was staring at my belt, which uniform, it's an ordinary black belt, you know. So I felt kind of a little wrong there, you know. But customer's always right, I guess. Yeah.
I thought that was going in a whole other direction. Sorry. Let me see what we got here. Have you PSC landscape or lawn care? How do you deal with problematic neighbors of your client? Brad, you seem noisy. We'll let you take that one.
I think the most I've ever had is somebody, they weren't really even bad. They came out and they started watching me, and, you know, I stopped the machine and asked, you know, did they need anything or was anything happening? And they're like, oh no, I was on a stand-on mower. They're like, I never saw a mower like that. So they watched a little bit more. I started mowing again. But in the back of my mind, I was like, I don't know if he was making sure I didn't blow grass on his property or what. But again, I've been fortunate where I've never had any of those horror stories of neighbors who, you know, come out screaming, you mowed 6 inches on my property line. You know, I haven't had anything like that.
You're running an escalator. Any issues when you're in the neighborhood?
Yeah, I got the call today. Actually, we were putting up a vinyl fence next to a sidewalk, and my guys called me. Apparently, a guy that lived like a half a mile down the road came down, started yelling at him, saying that it was in the town's covenants that we couldn't put the fence next to the sidewalk or something like that. But my foreman's a pretty tough dude, so he just told him to get bent. So he said, "There's 3 of us and 1 of you, man. Like, what are you gonna do about it?" But I just, after looking at the city bylaws, they don't care. All these people don't understand that, you know, we're doing like $50,000-$60,000 jobs, but I have friends in all these cities, and so yeah, we always get a good laugh when we get a neighbor or somebody coming up trying to explain us something that we already know.
Nice. Nicole?
I got lost in the get bent. I'm sorry. I really haven't had any complaints from the neighbors. I mean, if anything, I go and, you know, make sure that their property's clean after we're there, and, you know, depends on what we're dragging across it. I've never had a complaint from a neighbor. If anything, they just want to see if I can come give them a bid for their landscaping.
That's lucky. We hit a Comcast line yesterday. knocked out the whole neighborhood. But
that's why locates in, right?
What's that?
Did you call locates in just to make sure you don't hit that? Oh,
because I knew exactly where it went, because the neighbor had theirs located. But the problem is the line ran right where our fence is going, all the way down. And so I got a buddy that works for Xfinity, and he's like, dude, in this situation, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. So we did it. We hit it. The guys came out. They're like, nah, you did the right thing, because we never would have moved that, and we wouldn't have been able to install the fence. So they got a new line put in within an hour, and we're all good to go. We retrenched it. They didn't bill me anything. So got it all taken care of. Normally I do, though, yes. If there's anybody watching, I always call.
Mark Thomas, the builder. Mark, what's going on, buddy? Do you ever have competitors come up and ask what you charge for a particular property? How do you respond? I'll jump on that. I tell them, honestly, especially if they're younger, if they're new. And I've gotten to multiple arguments in social media platforms, in person, about people not knowing their numbers. And the idea for someone that's coming up that doesn't have overhead or doesn't have numbers, they need something to kind of base that off. So I'd rather have someone that's in line with what I'm doing or what I'm charging rather than undercharging me. How do you guys feel about that?
So
Anybody jump in?
this hits home. Just this year alone, I've helped 3 guys that work in my firehouse start their own pressure washing company, and they're, some are in my area, but we talk about numbers all the time, just to standardize, our industry. It only helps each other out, because at the end of the day, we're all doing the same work, and that $99 guy can't do everything. So
Yeah.
that's just my 2 cents.
Oh, same thing with me, man. I aim for 60% gross profit. I bid for 60% gross profit on all my landscaping jobs. If you really break that down to everybody else in my area, that's outrageous. But at the end of the day, I'm able to treat my employees better, and we have more than enough work to go around. And so, as far as your question, Josh, I tell guys all the time, man, you got to raise your prices. I'm a firm believer that as a business owner, you can't help other people unless you have your own oxygen. And oxygen is cash, right? Cash flow is oxygen of any business owner. So without me having my own oxygen, I can't buy boots for my employees. I can't pay for their daycare. I can't give them the random, day off for mental health or to go help out with their kids. So yeah, I try to tell people all the time, because I think it's as an industry, we can do so much better to raising the stakes. And when it comes to employees, everybody needs to treat their employees better. I think it's going to change the face of the industry for future generations. Be able to hop into it.
Nicole, anybody ever come up to you, or if they did come up to you, what'd you tell them?
Here where I live, I pretty much run into the landscaping crews in Bartlesville. There's a couple that will ask. I don't know that I've ever been in a bidding war against anybody. I don't normally tell my cost, because I don't know why. But I do know that there are some people that will overbid a property that I've bid on or something like that. And I'm like, wow, you're just like so high. But I don't necessarily question their charge. It's just, I don't know. I understand though that where you're saying is that where you would help the industry kind of maintain that, level of charges or whatever. But you have to understand that when you're doing landscaping, that the landscaper that just started 2 years ago isn't the same as the landscaper that I am. So I just don't think that there's a comparison in the pricing necessarily.
As far as overcharging.
There is a real good friend of mine that owns a company. He mows yards and he also does landscaping. And he's like, well, I just bid today, and how much would you have charged? I'm like, oh, I don't know, $450 or $1,250, whatever it is. And he's like, well, I charged $1,000 and they accepted it. And I'm like, man, I don't overcharge. I feel that I'm priced correctly, just with the greenhouses and the other landscapers here in Bartlesville. But he said, just don't hate the player. And I'm like, you're right. So it kind of encouraged me to actually raise my prices a little bit, because I'm like, I know you did a great job, but I also know where my specialty is. And that is, I'm going to come on your property. And if you can't tell I've been there, there's no reason to have me out there, whether it's trimming your shrubs or taking something out. If they can't tell, then, go ahead and hire the kid that's $10 an hour or whatever, because I don't have a problem with that. But everybody that I'm on, if you can't tell that I've been there, then there's an issue.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big believer that there's no such thing as overcharging in the industry. I think that as you grow as a company or as a business owner, you kind of find out where your value is and the value that you can provide your clients, and that really does kind of set the tone, for how much you can charge. But I always push everybody, especially the young guys. There's stages to this industry, right? Where you first start off, you get the $20 cuts and the $30 cuts, or I'll charge you an extra $10 a week to trim all your bushes, or stuff like that, right? But you slowly, I think there's a 5-year mark where either people fall out of the business because they're not making enough money and they don't understand that value. And there's people that go past that 5-year mark that finally understand that value, and they're able to charge enough, and they're use that money to feed their families, stuff like that. So sounds like to me you're worth it. Why not charge them 1,000? If you get somebody to pay it, why not? Right?
Well, I don't mow yards. So, I mean, the difference between, mowing yards and charging an extra $3 to help kind of, if you're doing a whole, run of yards, I think it's possible to go ahead and increase your prices. But I think with landscaping, if you're charging $100 an hour, it's not going to compare to the guy that's charging 15 or 10 just to go do a little quick yard cleanup. It's just completely different as far as, the levels of ability.
Oh yeah, of course. Somebody's going to pay what they want to pay.
Right.
And at the end of the day, not everybody's going to be your client, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, 1,000%.
All right, Brad, I'll come back to you. We're milking this conversation. Uncle Paul talking about my accent, Boston accent, the Northeast accent, actually working on losing it. Nicole, going to put you on the spot again. Have you faced any challenges with being a woman in the industry?
I don't know that I've faced any challenges. I think that I really haven't. I think that if people see my work, it just proves what I'm able to do. Now, I do get harassed a little bit by, some of the people around my town, and, I'll text and say, hey, you got any workers that want to work for me? It's kind of a banter back and forth, but I don't face any challenges because there's been a lot of times that I've had the bodybuilder that's needing a little extra money that can't hang, whether we're, shoveling mulch or whatever. I'm right there doing that work with them. So I think it's just a matter of proving myself and my ability. If I was just sitting there at my computer doing my nails, I think it would be a little different, but I'm right there doing that same exact work, hauling it onto the property and getting it in. So
earlier in the discussion, I talked about hiring employees and putting them to their certain strengths. Sorry, I had my 3-year-old come in and start messing with stuff. Missed part of it, but I hired a female this season to come in and help out with weeding and trimming and stuff like that. But turns out she's really OCD and she's really organized. And now she's basically the finisher on all of our landscaping jobs, and she organizes all the trucks, organizes the shop, she builds all of our boxes because she pays so much attention to detail. And she's easily, in case any of them are watching this, they all know it. She's my favorite. So sorry, Wyatt, Drew, but Beck has been absolutely amazing. So I urge anybody, if you ever contemplated not hiring a woman, in the landscaping field, it's been a huge eye opener for me.
Well, I agree with that. There's times that if I want something done, just a meticulous type thing, I may hire a female. But when it comes to shoveling thousands of pounds of mulch or rocks, again, like I said, I'm right there doing that with these guys, and they're running those wheelbarrows, and then I'm spreading it right behind them. So if I was just running a company and telling people what to do, I think it'd be just completely different.
Yeah, and she set our standard for mulch installation because of how quick, she's able to do it. And she does everything that the guys do. She's tougher than they are. She'll beat the shit out of them right there in the middle of the day, if they want to lip off or anything like that. And it's, I don't know. I've seen her do everything that I've been able to do, and I don't know, maybe it's just expectations on employees and stuff like that, but we've invested a lot too in our employees to, work smarter, not harder. And so we have the machines, to lift things and move things and stuff like that. So it's not really, I guess an issue anymore, but yeah, she's setting the tone for my quoting from here on out. So it's been a huge game changer.
I'm seeing the deal with the jar. I think the thing with that is that you guys have gone to college for your knowledge to be able to present that to your clients is amazing. If the guy that's loading your rock on the truck doesn't believe that you're going to be able to haul that onto the property, then that's his problem. I mean, you can't prove yourself to the rock guy, but your client should know your knowledge for sure because you have gone to college for what you're doing.
Who went to college?
They're twins. I'm seeing it in the chat.
Through the comments.
Yeah, Jacqueline and Abigail stuff.
Yeah, and I just think they're amazing, and they're young, and they've got a long road to go. So they're gonna succeed for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're gonna jump over to Uncle Paul again. Brad, I'll let you run off with this. If you could choose only one thing to do in the landscape industry and specialize in it, what would it be?
I don't know. There's been a couple of times I've dabbled in specializing, but at least in my area, we don't have, I'm in a fairly rural area. So there's a pretty high aesthetic tolerance, meaning that people don't necessarily need things looking perfect or looking great or looking like a golf course. So, there's lots of people who have irrigation systems who don't run them. So that the times I've tried to specialize in irrigation, there's not really the customer base to make it worth, the time I'm investing or the hour I've got to go to the nearest supply yard for backflow preventers when they bust or something like that. So I think I've learned that I'm actually happy just doing the easy generic stuff where I can get in and out and I don't really have to worry about parts or materials or any of that. Cause that's one thing that has given me headache when I've tried to do things like landscape installs or focus real heavy on irrigation, because I am 45 minutes from anywhere, that any type of materials or supplies that I need are always a pain to get.
Jonathan.
I would have to say outdoor kitchens. Just transforming the landscape, to give them something that they can enjoy,
Nicole?
I think it's just what I do. I wouldn't specialize in anything. I mean, I do a little bit of I do hardscaping. I think it's hedge trimming if I didn't have to hold the trimmers all day long for my shoulder, but other than that, I'm perfectly content where I'm at specializing in this.
Alec, besides baby making, what would you specialize in?
Ooh.
Shots fired.
That's a tough one, man. Actually, to tell you the truth, we just made the switch. We only install xeriscapes now. So we only install drought tolerant xeriscape designs. So I don't know if that's a niche where we're at. But I mean, drought tolerant stuff, it's something that we're pretty passionate about. I've been passionate about it for a while since we live in northern Utah, and that desert climate is starting to climb north and north, further north every single year. So yeah, it's what we do. I guess I lied. We also do garden boxes. So we build garden boxes out of Pecky cedar timbers, and that's been a fun one too. But we kind of followed our passion, and that's what we do now.
For me, it would be lawn installations. If I ever had to scale back, a skid steer, a Harley rake, a landscape rake, sub out the hydro seed, and the trucking. I think it's a one-man gig if you set up like that. It's lazy, it's easy money, and it's quick. Busy in the spring, busy in the fall, and some filler jobs in between. So that's just me. Jensen, Jason, the lawn care guy. What was the last concert you attended, if any? Also, for the record, Bigfoot is real. Okay, Jensen. For me, the last concert I attended would have been Marilyn Manson and Slipknot. I'm metalhead, hip hop head, so that was the last one I went to. Brad, What was the last concert you went to?
I was actually trying to Google it real quick. When my wife and I were recording, Coldplay was in Orlando or Jacksonville. That would have been 2009, 2010, 2011. I think that's the last one I've gone to.
Just jump in, guys, and no water.
My kid's preschool concert. That was it. But I am looking forward. Tool is coming to Utah to the Maverick Center. I'm thinking I might, now that I have money, I'm thinking I might go see Maynard. See what's
That's
up.
a good show. It's a good show.
I've heard.
Sorry, go ahead.
Mine was ZZ Top.
Ooh, all right.
That's a good one.
This might be a little out there, but mine was Beethoven's Quartet for my wife's birthday in August. So
I thought he was dead.
Yeah, it must be his sons or something. I don't know.
Beethoven Jr. the 6th.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No country music, no country concerts for you guys. No, nothing. Oh, I figured we got South there, so Georgia, Oklahoma, Florida, we get something in there.
I mostly listen to hip hop and reggaeton.
All right, there you go. All right, let me see what I got here next. Advice you would give yourself from the you 10 years ago. So the you from the past, what advice would you give yourself from now? Nicole.
I'm gonna have to pass that one to Mr. Brad.
Invest in Google and Tesla. Buy Tesla. Buy all of it.
I actually I just answered this question on Facebook today. It was in another group. And my big one was drop the ego. Because I started this when I was 18, 19 years old. I thought I was good at it. I didn't listen to anybody. 10 years ago, if somebody would have told me to raise my prices and do all that, I would have thought they were crazy. Drop the ego, invest in people. This is what I would have told myself.
Either one of you guys, Jonathan, Nicole. It could be personal. It doesn't have to be business wise. So
I wish I would have played golf in high school instead of trying to play football because my body took a toll. But on a serious note, I don't know, been better with money and would have learned credit as in high school instead of learning the hard way by making mistakes.
Cole, you still good?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think because mine would probably be real, but I would just say I think just believing in myself. I think there comes a point, of course, I'm a little older maybe than a lot of these. I know a couple of people in the UAG, but I'm, I just think that believing in yourself and not listening to the little, negative self-talk in my head is probably where I would change a lot of things.
Personally, for me, I'm going to beat you on the world's smallest violin, by the way, Nicole. I'd say slow down. And this is all on a personal level. I came up in when I should have been learning more, I came up in the foster care system through DYS. And when I got out of that, I had to prove to myself that I could do it, that I wasn't going to be a statistic and fall off and be a crackhead or just an asshole. So I definitely go, bulldozing my way through and never actually enjoying those parts of my life, like through my 20s and my early 30s, just trying to prove to myself that I would make something, that I wouldn't be that statistic. So I would say slow down, enjoy it. Like John said, learn everything you possibly can, credit, investing, how a business works, the Jar sisters are doing it right. I think they're getting some education. They're working. They're getting their hands dirty at the same time, and they're moving through. They're taking their small steps to actually do what they want to do instead of rushing into it and then blaming everything on everybody. Like, why can't I do this? So, in the violin, I'll move on. How often do you guys feel like anybody just say, screw it, I'm done, forget this shit, I don't want it anymore? You got a smirk on your face.
Well, you cut out, you said, how often do you feel like, and then you cut out, and then you were like, just screw it, I'm done. And I was like, oh, you must be talking about quitting. Yeah, I'm
Quitting,
sick
there
of
you go,
mowing at
yeah.
this point in the year. Every August, September, I'm like, God, this is, I don't, like, I never seriously entertain quitting, but I am always like, man, it would be nice to quit. And not, the half joking thing where it's just like, I've been on these same yards for like 9 months now. I'm so tired of this.
I did.
No, Brad, real quick. I'm not going to make fun of you for insurance, but so if you were to quit today, what would you go do?
I don't know. I've still got an active health insurance license, so I could sell health insurance. So that was decent money when I was doing that back before I quit in 2012. So and I think they would probably hire you back real quick because it's something you have to have a license for that's pretty difficult to get.
Gotcha. Nicole, do you feel like quitting? And if you did quit today, what would you do?
I really don't. I think that every day is just a challenge. I just want to make it through the day. It's kind of like, I guess with the guys, it's like doing a workout. Like, am I going to get past my ability to function, because there's times I'm sitting there and I've just worked a 12-hour day and I'm going, okay, I got to get back up in the morning and go ahead and do bids or what have you. And I don't feel like quitting. It's a challenge to me a little bit. But if I did, there's lots of different things that I've done, photography. I've done catering a little bit, fixing iPhones. I mean, there's just a lot of different things. I've always been self-employed. I know nothing else. So I don't know. Photography, probably, maybe. Stand in a corner and beg for money. Guitar.
Considering you're a firefighter, if you didn't have that career and you were just landscaping and you said, screw it, I'm quitting it. What's your, what would be your next gig?
Aside from firefighting, I guess my dream job would be coaching either high school football or college football.
Nice. Alec?
I almost did, man. Back in, if anybody listened to our podcast back, we did a while ago, but back in 2016, I hurt my back. And I had to go find something else. Just wasn't working out, but I went to go work for a local stone company. And 4 months later, I realized that this sucks. Y'all suck. And I'm going back. So at this point right now, I mean, I guess just to be honest with everybody, I maybe put in 20 hours a week in the business, and I'm pursuing coaching for landscaping business owners. I'm also pursuing microgreens to sell to local stores. Just kind of that entrepreneurial spirit of whatever's going on right now. I'm gonna hop on it and make some money and take my knowledge of owning a business and just create a different stream of revenue.
How's your back?
Good now.
Yeah, making all those babies. I'm sure you're living up to that Utah stereotype.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, hearing about 10 years, I'm gonna have a workforce that nobody's gonna be able to compete with. Talking about kids.
Oh man,
honey, I'm on a computer thing right now. You need to go. Okay, go watch TV. She wants to help. Come help.
Always going. Work or family, right?
Yeah, always, brother. Always.
Any of you guys have any hidden talents? Can you dance? Can you sing? Come on, somebody's got to have something.
I'm pretty good with a bow.
All right.
So I shoot a recurve bow. Video games, not too bad at. I can drive a car. The spray, those people on the side of the streets that spray paint the moons and stuff like that on like the papers. They use like the newspaper to crumple
Oh
it
yeah,
up.
yeah, like the Times Square artist.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have ADHD, and so I hyperfixate on shit like that. And so I went out and I bought like $400 worth of supplies. I did it 4 times. I found out that I'm like, okay, I'm pretty good at it. So I made some for my kids, and then I just stopped. But yeah, there's a bunch of random stuff that I like to do. Hyperfixate on all that stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jonathan, besides driving Housewives crazy, what else are you good at?
I don't know if it's a talent, but I'm a pretty decent cook.
That's a talent. What do you cook?
Anything, whatever you want.
Anything. What's your specialty?
Chicken parm.
Are you the firehouse cook?
Oh yeah.
Of course. That's nice.
Well,
Nice.
I get to decide what we eat, so.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nicole, what do you got?
Gosh, I mean, special talents that nobody knows about, or
Yeah, besides landscaping, aside from landscaping, we all know you're talented. But
I can cater for 300 all in my little kitchen, and I can fix iPhones and take photos, and like I said, I mean, I've just done a little bit of everything. I had a hair bow boutique. I mean, I just, you got to do what you got to do. I can count a deck of cards. How's that?
there you go. Brad, what do you got?
Nothing. I got no special or hidden talents. If you want an interesting fact, I didn't know how to swim until I was 21. I live in Florida, and I never knew how to swim until I had to go take lessons at a dive shop. Thankfully, there was another. Well, he was only there for my first session, but there was another guy, adult, there, and there was this young girl who was having to teach us how to swim and jump in the deep end with pool noodles, and he was freaking out. But I was like, "You're gonna get me if I'm gonna go down. You're gonna get me, right?" And she's like, "I got you." I was like, "All right," and I did go down, but she pulled me back out. It was fun.
Brad, what's your favorite TV show right now?
I don't really have favorite TV shows. It's more just what we're binge watching right now. We found something on Amazon Prime. It's some British series where these 3 archaeologists live like people in certain time frames for a year. So now they're doing like a Edwardian Britain farm. And it is neat because you get to see what all we take for granted that, 100 years ago, life was a lot tougher than it is now.
Cole?
I don't make a lot of time for watching TV, but if I was to just sit and binge watch, I would say The Prophet, or I'm something really quick, and I don't want to get into it. I haven't watched a series show since Seinfeld back in the day, so The Prophet would be it.
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Always just the classic Parks and Rec, The Office, or I started watching Bluey with my 3-year-old. And that's your favorite? That's her favorite too, is Bluey. Poppy. Sorry, Poppy's her favorite.
There you go.
Okay.
Jonathan, what do you got?
Started watching C on Apple TV. It's about like Vikings and kind of that genre.
Nice. I just started watching Squid Games. Seems decent. I'm on the 2nd episode, but I'm not really into that stuff. But Alec, if she wants to get in, you can bring her on. That's no problem if you come.
Oh, you want to say hi?
You can say, you got everybody. Hi.
This is Morgan. She's 3. Yep. You're that many, huh?
Hi, Morgan.
Are you going to have a little brother or sister? Yeah?
My parents.
Oh, okay.
My friends.
Oh, your friends?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought she said she wanted twins. I thought she said twins.
Oh my God.
Don't you wish that on me?
No, don't even, man. Yeah, we've waited on this one to find out what the sex of the baby is. It's a boy or girl. So it's going to be a big surprise, and the whole family is just at each other's throats. You want a boy or a girl?
Go.
Girl. That's right, man.
All right.
That's what I figured, so.
let's try this. Quick rapid fire. Biggest inspirational role model. Brad, Nicole, Alec, John. Go.
My grandpa.
Boom. Jump in, guys.
It has to be my mom. She was there for us all the time. I don't know how she did it, raising 3 kids. But we never missed a beat. We didn't know any different. You know, we thought we were just like every other kid growing up in America. So,
Brad, Nicole.
You go, Nicole.
I would say my grandparents. They just worked hard and stood up for what they believed in, and they're amazing people.
See, I thought since this is green industry, like I was thinking about the guys who I started watching in 2016 that were mowing tall grass. And then they're like busting out grandpa and all these serious things. So now I'll change it to my wife. She is the hardest working person I know. And every day she makes me want to be an even better person than I am so that I can be the partner that she deserves.
She's sitting right there, isn't she?
I know she's in the other room, but she might be watching.
Hey, blink,
You
blink
said
twice.
that loud, making sure she hears you.
Blink twice if you need to send somebody.
Yeah, right.
I just figured out Brad's hidden talent. BSing.
Oh,
I don't know.
God.
I'll hop on board with them, man. My wife does. She's amazing. She takes care of the kids. I just a little tad bit too. So when I started this business, I was working for I was unloading trucks. I was, in the mornings between 7 a.m., 11 a.m. And we were having our first daughter. And I actually quit that job, and I was landscaping for 2 whole months before she realized that I was self-employed. And she stayed with me after that. So, she's she carried us quite a bit during those first few years, and then about 4 or 5 years ago, she was actually able to quit her full-time job, and now I get to return the favor by paying for her to pursue her self-employment dreams of owning a couple of businesses. So I'm right there with you, Brad. She's been a huge help.
You just got derailed, Brad. So your brownie points went out the window right there.
Hey, that's all right. That story topped mine. That one sounded a lot more sincere and genuine than mine. So he can have all the brownie points.
Brad, you bring me. I know Angel and Sarah probably rolling their eyes. We're going over the hour mark now, but you bring me to my next question. And apparently, your inspiration wasn't going to be a wife; it was going to be a guy cutting tall grass on YouTube. So good segue there. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, and it doesn't even have to be a lawn care influencer. But if you had to deck one influencer in the throat or in the face, who would it be? You don't even have to say why, and it doesn't have to be landscape related. It can be, but I'll start. Mine would be Grant Cardone.
I don't know if I'd want to deck anyone, but there is a gentleman that I watch. His name is CoffeeZilla. I can't think of his real name, but basically his channel's around exposing fake growth gurus, the Grant Cardones and all the folks who are like, you just got to they just say things that don't really mean anything. I don't dislike them enough to deck them, but those can be pretty annoying because it seems like in the landscape, hardscape industry, a lot of people latch on to that 10x stuff and think it's a religion that is going to get them places, and I'm just like, he's not even saying anything.
Grant Cardone is kind of a bitch. Sorry, but yes, I read his book, I listened to his stuff, but then I saw him on a show one time, and he was telling people, "Don't buy a house. Buying a house is stupid. You need to rent." I'm like, isn't this coming from the guy that buys rental homes everywhere? Other than that, though, there's a couple of guys. Josh, me and you have had this conversation a couple of times, but yeah, there's some guys on YouTube that I wouldn't waste the time of day on hitting them, but I think they've definitely done some more damage to the industry than they think they're doing good.
Look, Jonathan, anybody see? to be impartial?
I actually really don't watch it, so I don't know. What I really don't like are people that are trying to give their opinion about whether it's horse, whatever, within the green industry that really are only out there working an hour or possibly every other week or, you know. Oh wait, no, you sell insurance. Just a minute.
There's a difference. Okay, good. As long as I'm not involved in the section of people you're talking about, that's all I care about.
I mean,
I just said I maybe work 20 hours a week. Damn.
hey, as long as you can tell me how to put the limestone screenings down and tamp them down, we're good. Cool about it. Please don't tell me how to do it. Sorry, I just don't watch it. I just don't have the time to. There's times that I kind of catch y'all's stuff within Instagram, and I do my best on TikTok. I think I have 3 videos now. Woo-hoo. But I don't have the time.
John, what do you got?
As far as like hit, I don't know. It has to be like somebody coming after my family or something. But if I could get a freebie, I'm pretty sure there'll be a GIE coming this year. So I'm not gonna say who it is.
All right. You got a whole number of guys.
Big,
down there, I guess.
big Instagrammer.
Yep. There you go. Are any of you guys going to GIE?
Yeah.
They are having it, I think so.
Baby.
I've got the flight and hotel booked as long as they don't decide to shut anything down last minute.
Yeah, we're having a baby, so I'll be there next year.
But is it worth going? I mean, I look at it and I think there's a hardscape expo right next to it, and it seems decent and it seems all right to go check out some new equipment. But more or less, it seems like more of a meet and greet for people.
Yeah, I think it depends on why you're going. The main reason I go is to see if I can film something on some new piece of equipment because, equipment videos, they have a chance of doing pretty good on YouTube. So if I can find some new product like that Steel GTA 26, when it came out in 2019, those videos did good. But, if you don't have a YouTube channel where you're trying to make that, I think probably social, at least for the solo operators, if you're like a CEO and you got 600 guys working for you, maybe you do go to try and figure out what equipment to buy.
Not only is he an insurance salesman, he's selling steel equipment. I think that's like the second or third time he's mentioned that now. So
wait,
Is this the Steel Does Business podcast? What
yeah, I think they're paying me per mention. So steel.
Okay.
Fix any piece of equipment via, our little chat thing. Going, well, did you take the filter out and did you drain the oil? Did you really screw that light enough?
Hopefully next year. I don't know. We'll see how the next couple of weeks pan out. But as far as like getting involved with coaching other landscape business owners, I might see myself there next year. Trying to, I don't know. You know how hard it is, Josh, to try to talk people out of, the influencers on Instagram and YouTube and trying to get them really to, understand, the aspects of owning a business and running a business and the importance of it. So we'll see. But no, I will not be going to look at equipment or, trying to pay $100 to meet somebody, get an autograph.
John, you going down to throw some hands or what?
That's
actually, I might go if he's going.
It's gonna be like a little mini vacation for us. I'm going with my father-in-law. He's moving up from Miami. He's gonna help me grow my business because he's gonna retire selling his, and we're taking his RV and we're gonna stay 2 days there. Check it out.
Hey, are we going to get burned if we ask more questions? Because I wanted to know about how the RV parking at the Expo Center works.
They haven't told us to chime out, so go ahead.
So honestly, this is my first year going, so I have no idea. I'm a rookie when it comes to GIE. So
it looks like it's one of the. I can't find any good pictures of it on their site or on Google Earth because it's all old. But it looks like one of their parking lots is set up for RVs, like it's got the hookups and stuff, but I don't know anything past that. But that's something that my wife and I were possibly looking at. we might like to do that because I hate being away from my family for, those 3-4 days.
Yeah.
And, flight from where I am, a flight can be, it's a little shorter than driving, but it can be just as long and a lot more expensive, especially if you got 4 people. So if you find
So-
anything out, let me know.
When I reserved it in June, I was the second one on the list.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it tell you how many spots are currently left when you try and reserve one?
no, I'll just talk to the lady on the phone.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we are getting kicked out now. I know we're having fun. What I'd like for everybody that's watching to do, or anybody that watches this, is go to the EMB app, and I want you to comment on what value you get out of going to GIE. Could be anything as far as a meet and greet, if there's educational value, if you learn more about the tools you're about to invest in. Also, go check out the EMB website, the EMB app. Echo Means Business is now taking applications for the user advisory group for 2022. So get your apps in, make an appearance, make sure you're popping up on the app and using it. Guys, I don't know if you want to drop your handles. If anybody has any questions that we didn't touch base on here specifically, Brad, handle, Nicole, Alec, Jonathan.
Nobody cares about me. Pass.
You can
Nicole? Alec, go ahead. Go ahead, Alec.
well, you can contact me on Instagram. I got a couple of guys that reach out all the time. It's at Nailerscapes right there. You can also find me at Scaper of Land. We're on Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, come and check us out.
Cole?
I'm on your Instagram with the landscape manicurist with little underscores.
And Jonathan.
Facebook, Instagram, websites, Hero Services, GA.
And anybody looking for a discount on any still equipment or insurance policies, you can reach out to Brad via Facebook or YouTube. Guys, if you found any value in this, share it out. Put it on your Facebook, your Instagram. Guys, thanks for being part of this. It was really cool, and hopefully we can all link up again. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Have a good night, everybody. Bye.